this video, we're going to look at how we can create a WebViewer application using Angular 20. This is different from Angular 19 in subtle ways in that some of the file names have changed within the Angular application. The actual WebViewer side is all the same, but it can be a little confusing if you follow one set of instructions and you're not familiar with Angular. So let's create a new project and we'll use ng new WebViewer-Angular 20. We're going to be asked some questions. Some are the same as we saw in Angular 19 and some are new. I'm just going to accept all of the defaults. So I'm saying I want to use CSS, I don't want to use server-side rendering, I don't want to create a zoneless application, and for now I won't use any AI tools. Now this has created the files, and you'll see straight away that the app files no longer have the word component within them. This is a significant difference from version 19. The project is now installing all of the default dependencies. Once that's complete, we need to navigate to the newly created project folder. And now we want to install the Apryse WebViewer, which we can do using npm i @pdftron/webviewer. If we view the directory contents now, we'll see that we already have a lot of files that have been scaffolded. I'm going to start editing the project using VS Code, which on Windows I can start using Code. You could do something similar on Mac OS. Although Apryse WebViewer is now available within Node modules, we need some of the files within it to be available as static assets when the application is running on the client. In other frameworks such as React, we would use a script or some kind of plugin to copy those files. Angular, though, has its own mechanism in the assets section of the angular.json file. So if we copy some code from the Apryse Getting Started guide for Angular, then when we start to serve the app, the static assets will be automatically copied to the lib.webviewer folder. We could choose a different location if we wish, but we need to specify that in the path of the WebViewer constructor, which we'll see in a moment. Next, let's create a new folder called WebViewer. And within this folder, let's create a new file called webviewer.ts. Now copy code from the Get Started guide. The important things to note is that we're importing pdftron/webviewer. We also have a WebViewer constructor, and that includes a path which has to be to the folder which we just specified in the angular.json file. We also need to specify a license key, and you can get a free trial license key from the Apryse website. And in this case, I'm also including an initial document to be opened. Finally, we also need to specify where we want WebViewer to be mounted. And in this case, it's Viewer, and we'll see where we specify that in just a moment. It's also worth noting that the template URL shouldn't have the word component in. That's one of the differences from Angular 19 to Angular 20. Now let's create another new file in that WebViewer folder, this one called webviewer.html. This will be the template for the WebViewer page. And again, we can copy code for it from the Apryse website. At its simplest, it's just a div, but it's got the name viewer associated with it, which is how the WebViewer constructor knows that this is where it should be mounted. I've also added some styling, though you could do that via CSS if you prefer. Now let's look at the app.ts file. This is what Angular 20 has scaffolded for us. We need to make a few changes. We need to import our WebViewer component, and we'll also add it into the imports. In fact, in this code, I'm not using router outlet, so that could be removed, but this is not really typical production code, so I'll leave it in for now. I'll also explicitly add that this is a standalone app, but you can do as you please. Finally, we need to update the app.html file. By default, it's scaffolded with a lot of code, but we don't need really any of this. So let's cut all that out and replace it with the bare minimum, which is the WebViewer as a tag between the main tags. Great. Great, let's save everything, go back to terminal and enter ng serve. It will take a little while for the app to be packaged, but once it is, you'll be able to navigate to the site and be able to see WebViewer working within a browser. Awesome.